You know, people usually ask, mbona utoki, mbona uendi, mbona... I just want you to take me back to your story a little bit and tell me whether you were having that hope that things will change. And for how long did you have to hold on to that hope? And what is that moment that was like a turning point for you that you decided to walk away?
Let me say this. Whatsoever it is that I've said is not meant to demonize the person. That is a story that took place.
Yeah.
Like I told you, like the first time he did this, you heard me saying along the way, he apologized.
Yes.
And he said, I'm sorry. You know, when you are getting married, there's something that is normally called premarital counseling, where you are sat down. And one of the things I was told, ni mwanamke ni kurudi chini. So, and number two, I was told, men don't say sorry. They act and behave sorry. So, whenever he will do something and then amekuja kama amebeba kilo moja ya nyama.
You're sorry.
That is sorry.
Yeah.
Whenever he will do something and then he comes back, he tells me, you know, I've paid rent.
That is apology.
That is apology. I was told that is sorry. So mwanamke ni kufanya nini? Kurudi chini, to tone down, to go down. And then because my favorite meal is fish, he would go and buy very big fish, 2 of them, a small one and a slightly bigger one. Then he will come and tell me the bigger one is yours. For goodness sake, that is what?
Sorry.
That is sorry. Yeah. So anytime I would see something like that, I would tone down. Remember, let me say this a bit. On Sunday, our pastor was preaching in church and he said, every person has got 2 sides, the beast and the heavenly side of it. So remember, he also had a heavenly side of him. And now it is like the beast part of him is what came out very fast, or maybe too early, or maybe on a deeper side. So he would say sorry, do it again, say sorry, do it again, say sorry, do it again.
It kept on repeating.
I remember when I was 1 week to now giving birth, there was an incident of, I don't know whether to say an incident of infidelity or a symptom of infidelity, because that pregnancy made me nikae the other way around. It ribbled my face. I was not as beautiful as
you're not your best.
I was on the other side. My nose was swollen, and then that pregnancy made me become 3 times darker. I was looking funny. My face was rough, and I want to say this with all due respect. I also feel that men should also be taken to a course of pregnancy, handling a pregnant woman, because we might be blaming them, and maybe he met a very fine girl, petite. Now the girl no waistline, the face is rough. I was spitting. I was looking funny. I was when you reach 8 months, you walk without a pant. You know, I was looking.
So
terrible.
this affected your marriage.
This, I think, in one way affected him, because by the time I was 8 months, I mean, close to a week to pregnancy, there was a case, and then when I came to know about it, it is the first time I'm meeting such a case. I've never been taught how to handle a case, so I reacted the way I thought, and I'm pregnant. And my hormones are not balanced at that time. I remember that day he came from work. He found me seated. He just asked me, Margaret, what's wrong with you? Before I realized there was something like a hot iron. I just felt something like a hot iron. You know, the baby just sipped, because I am just like due to delivery. Kumbe, it was a slap. Then I asked him, what are you doing this for? So before he even answered me, I felt another hot iron. So he slapped me 3 times, on the right, on the left, and back on the right. At that time, I'm so big, I cannot lift myself. You know, the only thing I did is that I covered the pregnancy. I'm like...
to protect your baby.
Just to protect it. That time I left.
So that is the time you walked out of your marriage. You said...
Not to live with anything. You know, you still have to go back to that bedroom and sleep on that bed.
So you didn't walk out of the marriage?
This is the 4th instance.
Okay.
The baby is not even up to 9 months. You get. So I went and I slept at my best couple's place. When I slept there, they had mixed reactions, because now this was the 4th time we have sat in panels to discuss this. And at that time he's saying he does not have any plan for that baby. Now that is when the bitterness came in. All
right. Margaret, I'm sorry, I'm going to have to move you a bit faster because of time. But I want to understand, what is that moment that you decided this was too much for me to bear?
After I delivered. Because, you know, after that, they still took us to the panel. They sat us down and they said this pregnancy was gotten in wedlock. The baby must be delivered in wedlock. So I was taken back to the house by force. He's not talking to me, I'm not talking to him. So I said the only way to do here, because at that time we're living in a 2-bedroom house, we had to shift bedrooms. So I moved into the 2nd bedroom, I left him in the other bedroom. I bought everything new for me in that bedroom. Because I'm trying to manage a situation I've not forgiven. But sincerely, I'm talking about the history in the past. My plan was what QT was talking about, to revenge, to organize a gang that can just meet him somewhere, not to shoot him, and give him beating so that he can feel how it feels to be beaten. I just said I will organize a gang that will beat the hell out of him. I could not do it.
But you couldn't do it.
I'm a pastor.
All right.
I give birth. After I give birth, the baby is not even up to 3 months old. Now the infidelity that I had
seen signs.
At that time that I received 3 hot plates of hot iron on my cheeks, now it had matured and it had grown. It came back. Let me tell you, sijakauka huku chini. I delivered normally. The man was so mad. The man was so hungry. He took the belt, the side of the battle. He beat me with it. And you know, when you're breastfeeding, you put on very lightly. I was putting just on like a camisole. We are living in the same plot where the landlord stays. So the landlord had to come in. That day I was just tired, I screamed. So neighbors were coming in. The landlord is here. He is beating me even in front of the landlord. I don't know whether to hold the baby. You know, when you are around having a close to 3 months old baby, you have milk everywhere. You know, a pregnant woman, I mean, a woman who has just delivered is just a little bit 90% messy, because you have to contain your healing process down there. You have to control the milk. You have to control a new baby, and this is a new environment, and it was the first baby.
All right, I'll have to cut you short because I'm trying to manage the time that I have. I'll come back to you so that I want you to tell me all this that you have narrated. You forgave this person and you healed, and you're here today talking about this story as one of your, I would say, your scar of strength